everybody, it's me, Reva. I wish we could be at school together and in our library spaces, but since we can't, I thought I would read to you from my home. So here I am on my living room couch, and I thought I would start by reading together. First of all, parents, I encourage you to look at the Google Doc that I made of online resources with all of our subscriptions to different things, some new ebook databases that you can get into during this time. If you have any questions, there's also story times, links to story times, stories read by actors, great sites, podcasts, some live classes that different authors and illustrators are doing. So check that out. Send me an email, rpollard@ebinternacional.org, if you have any questions. And let's read together. Cozy up with your pet, with your cat, with your dog, with your lovies, with your family, I guess. I've got a globe because we're going to do some traveling with our books. And we're going to start with a series called Dodsworth by Tim Egan, who's the author and illustrator. And I chose this series to start with. So that means I'm going to do 5 videos of this series because it's about a mole and a duck who travel the world. And if we can't travel, if we can't get out in the world right now ourselves, let's travel in some books. So we're going to start with the very first one, which is called Dodsworth in London. Oh, no, it's not. It's called Dodsworth in New York. It's this one. This is book 1. We're going to start with this. And guess what? I sent a Facebook message to Tim Egan, the illustrator and author of these books, because he Facebook friends librarians. And I said, I just want to make sure it's okay with you if I make videos of myself recording your books. And he wrote back within like an hour, and he wrote, Reva, I would love it if you shared these books with your students. He's thrilled. He said, have a great time with old Dodsworth and the duck. So let's do it. I have a few questions about this book that I think I'm going to ask him, and then I'll get back to you with the answers. First of all, I'm assuming that this main character, Dodsworth, is a mole. You might have other ideas. I think that's what this guy is, but I actually need to double check that with Mr. Egan because I wouldn't want to be wrong. I'm going to try to control the glare on the pages. Let's read. Dodsworth in New York. Oh, sorry. We got to start with the globe. This is learning time, you guys. New York is in the United States. Here's the United States in the Northern Hemisphere. We are way over here in California, which is, I believe, where Dodsworth starts out the book. And he travels all the way across the United States. Encyclopedia Britannica is a great place to find an atlas right now, parents, if you guys want to log into our Britannica accounts and find a great clickable atlas. New York is right here. So we've gone all the way across the country from where we are over here during this book. I'm going to put my globe back. Okay. Dodsworth in New York. Title page. Written and illustrated by Tim Egan. And as you can see, our characters in this book are all animals who wear clothes. Copyright page. This book was first written in 2007, updated in this edition in 2016. And contents. Breakfast, the train, New York City, and going home. Let's see what happens. Chapter 1, Breakfast. Dodsworth wanted adventure. He wanted to fly in a plane. He wanted to sail on a ship. He wanted to see the world. But first, he wanted breakfast. I get that. He went to his favorite place, Hodges's Cafe. He loved Hodges's pancakes. Everybody did. They were the best pancakes in the world. Dodsworth walked into the cafe. It was very early, so there was nobody around. Let's fix that glare. Here we go. Nobody, that is, but Hodges's duck. Hodges's duck was crazy. Morning, said Dodsworth. The duck just stared at him. May I please have some pancakes? Ask asked Dodsworth. The duck turned and jumped onto a stool. The duck started singing, "Fluffy pancakes in the air, pancakes, pancakes everywhere." "Oh no," said Dodsworth. The duck flew behind the counter. He started throwing pancakes at Dodsworth. Dodsworth tried to catch the pancakes. He caught 3 out of 7. Hodges ran out from the kitchen. Hodges is an elephant. He grabbed the duck. "Sorry about that, Dodsworth," he said. "You're here bright and early." "Yep," said Dodsworth. "I'm going on an adventure." "Where to?" asked Hodges. "New York, Paris, London, you name it," said Dodsworth. "Sounds exciting," said Hodges. The duck said nothing. Dodsworth finished his breakfast. He said farewell. He bid farewell to Hodges. Hodges wished him well. Dodsworth tipped his hat and pedaled away. Cool bike. It's like a Dutch bike where you can like have stuff in it. It's pretty cool. Chapter 2, The Train. Dodsworth arrived at the train station. He bought a ticket to New York. From there, he would sail across the ocean. He was very excited. The train started chugging along, over hills and under bridges, through fields and forests. It was the start of a grand adventure. Have you ever taken a train trip? It's pretty fun if you get to spend like a long time on a train, like going a pretty good distance. It's a really cool way to travel. 2 hours later, Dodsworth went to open his trunk. As he lifted the lid, the duck jumped out. "Finally," said the duck. "I could hardly breathe." Dodsworth couldn't believe it. "What are you doing here?" he shouted. "Looking for excitement," said the duck. "Where are we going?" he asked. Dodsworth was not happy. "We are not going anywhere," he shouted. "I'm going on an adventure, alone." "You are going back on the next train." The duck just looked out the window. "This is fun," he said. Dodsworth went up to the conductor, who was a cow. "Can you please stop this train?" he asked. "Not until New York," said the conductor. Dodsworth was very upset. He marched back to his room. The duck had taken all of Dodsworth's clothes out of the trunk. He was lying on them. "This is the life," he said. Dodsworth was very angry. "Get off my clothes," he shouted. "Look at the mess you made." "Whoa," said the duck. "Calm down there, partner." I will not calm down," shouted Dodsworth, "and I am not your partner." Chapter 3, New York City. The next morning, the train pulled into New York City. That means they got to sleep on the train. Pretty cool stuff if you've ever done that. It's really cool. Dodsworth bought a ticket for the duck to go home. He turned to give the duck the ticket. He saw the duck getting on the subway. That's like the BART. Again, Dodsworth was very mad. "Fine," he shouted. "Good luck to you." He started walking to the boatyard. "Paris, here I come," he grumbled. He's just going to leave him. But is he really? He's going to leave the duck in New York City? He walked for a mile, but then he stopped. There's some glare on that grocer. There we go. Pig grocer. He knew how worried Hodges must be. He knew he had to find the duck. "All I wanted was a simple little adventure," he said. He walked around New York City all day, across the Brooklyn Bridge, up to Yankee Stadium, and down to Wall Street. There was no sign of the duck, but Dodsworth was amazed at the giant buildings. You know, the buildings in New York are even taller, and there's even more of them than in San Francisco. He headed over to Washington Square. There were a lot of ducks, and they all looked the same. A lady was feeding them bread. Only one duck was throwing bread back at the lady. "Aha!" shouted Dodsworth. He chased the duck down to the Hudson River, but the duck got away again. Dodsworth sat and watched the boats for a while. He thought he saw the duck on one of the boats. Why would a duck take a boat, he wondered. It's a good question, because ducks can do what? Swim and float, right? They don't need boats. The boat was going to the Statue of Liberty. Dodsworth took the next boat. He arrived at the statue and climbed to the top. There was no sign of the duck anywhere. There was, however, a great view of the city. No sign of the duck, huh? Anybody see a duck in this picture on the Statue of Liberty, right up on the torch? Look up a picture of the Statue of Liberty if you haven't seen it. It's a giant statue, and that's the torch she's holding, and I see the duck. That night, Dodsworth checked into a hotel near Central Park. He kept trying to call Hodges on the phone, still no answer. At one point, he thought he saw the duck in the park. It was too dark to tell for sure. I think we can tell for sure. Let's see if we can tell for sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're telling for sure that's the duck. Oh, that's nice to do a close-up. I'll do more of those. In the morning, he walked to a diner across from the park. He ordered pancakes. They were not as good as Hodges's, not even close. But it is another cow who's the chef. Interesting. Dodsworth watched as the park came to life. There we go. A band started playing music. Folks started flying a kite. A magician began doing tricks. I don't know what kind of animal that musician is. Magician. I'm going to go with bear or prairie dog. I don't know. I'll ask Mr. Egan. I shall now pull a rabbit from my hat, said the magician. He pulled out the duck instead. Look at this. What? Aha, screamed Dodsworth. The duck took off. Dodsworth tried to catch the duck all day. He chased him up to Park Avenue. Even though he couldn't find the duck, Dodsworth liked how fancy everyone was dressed. On Park Avenue is where there's the fancy stores with expensive stuff and fancy clothes. That's true. True facts in this book. Later, he saw the duck go into the Museum of Modern Art, another real place. Dodsworth searched and searched, but he couldn't find the duck anywhere in the museum either. Can anyone find the duck in this museum? I see the duck. It's not in that. Oh, it's way up here. Where's my finger? It's on the wrong side. Oh, that's a duck. Why is there a fish? Must be a sculpture. I see the duck. Ooh, and this looks like it's a painting by an artist we know as Pablo Picasso. Look him up too. That's a good thing to look up in Encyclopedia Britannica. That evening, he spotted the duck walking into Radio City Music Hall. A movie was playing, so it was really dark. Since Dodsworth couldn't see the duck, he decided to just enjoy the movie. After a while, somebody started throwing popcorn at the screen. Somebody. Dodsworth knew who the somebody was. He stood up and saw the duck. Aha, he shouted. Shh, shouted everyone else. Everybody else, sorry. Those of you reading along can see I got that word wrong. The duck ran out and jumped into a bus. Dodsworth jumped into a taxi cab. Follow that duck, he said. The taxi followed the duck. See him in the back of the bus? Yep, there he is. That cow is not amused. The bus went to Coney Island. That's a fun park place near the beach. Dodsworth watched the duck get on the Ferris wheel. He waited until just the right second. Look at this. The duck has found a tiny duck-sized ball cap. Do you see this? A tiny duck-sized ball cap. Where did he find that? That's pretty cute, actually. Gotcha, he said as he grabbed the duck. Hey, said the duck. How's it going? Chapter 4, Going Home. Dodsworth brought the duck to the train station. You should be ashamed, said Dodsworth. You worried Hodges. You worried me. You could have been lost forever. Sorry, said the duck. The duck lowered his head. Dodsworth put his hand on the duck. Oh, it's all right, he said. Don't be sad. The duck started snoring. He was sound asleep. The duck wasn't sad. The duck was taking a nap. Duck. Dodsworth went to the phone booth. He called Hodges again. Hello, said Hodges. He sounded sad. Hodges, shouted Dodsworth. I've got the duck. He's with me. Hodges screamed. That crazy duck! I've been worried sick. Sorry he ruined your adventure, said Hodges. Ruined it? He was the adventure, said Dodsworth. They both laughed. We'll head home on the next train, said Dodsworth. Dodsworth went back to the duck. To his great dismay, the duck was gone again. Dodsworth looked out the window. The duck was getting on a boat. Getting on a boat? Dodsworth ran and jumped on the boat. The boat started sailing away. Hurry, said Dodsworth. Let's swim back to shore. No can do, said the duck. I can't swim. What? Shouted Dodsworth. You're a duck. Sorry, said the duck. Never learned how to swim. The city became farther and farther away. Dodsworth saw that the boat was going to Paris. That's in France. He went to the phone and called Hodges again. Hey, he said, listen, everything is fine. The duck is still with me, but, well, it might be a little longer than we thought. Because now he and the duck are trapped on a boat to Paris. So they're going to go have an adventure in France. The end of Dodsworth in New York. And we can do our aplauso en silencio that we do at the end of stories at school. Now listen, we're just getting started because clearly we have to find out what happens when they go to France. So we're gonna, and there's gonna be something to do with painting. And then we're gonna go to a few other countries. So stick with me. I'll post a new video every day. And I hope you enjoy reading along and reading together in your homes. Think about what it would be like if you were trapped on a trip with your pet. That's what's kind of like with the duck. I was thinking about how it's kind of like if my unruly cat had snuck into my suitcase, and she's sort of a pain. She's not the most easy to get along with cat. If she were a character in a book, it might go something like this, and maybe it would go like that with you and your pets, or maybe you have better trained and better behaved pets. I don't know. Anyway, be well, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.